In the long, cold Iowa winter, only the heartiest soup can warm you up and ward off colds and illnesses. We're not talking about chicken noodle, of course. We're talking about Tom Yum Goong.
And now for a look at a decidedly different kind of life. The scrawny life.
So we're starting out parboiling some bamboo shoots. Needless to say, this is not necessarily about recreating an authentic tom yum goong as it would be served in Thailand. We need a little more caloric intake here in the Iowa winter. We've got whole shrimp, and we're saving the heads and the shells for to flavor our shrimp stock. The only thing we're throwing away is the mud vein. Next, we'll chop up some garlic, onion, some of the parboiled bamboo shoots, and some shimeji mushrooms. And these we will briefly saute in a bit of red palm oil. And we're looking for just a little bit of browning, just a bit of a toasty flavor. Any oil would work. You don't necessarily need the red palm oil here. We're just sort of pre-cooking these vegetables. So into the pan goes some garlic and our shrimp shells, and we will simmer these and begin extracting some flavor for our shrimp stock. I have not added any salt to this at this point. Normally I would, but in the meantime we'll rinse off some rice and we'll get the rice cooker going, and we're going to just layer up those flavors. We're gonna hit the same the same flavor notes over and over with the garlic, the galangal, and the lime leaves and lemongrass and so forth. So these spices I'm putting in the rice cooker are not part of the final dish. They'll be taken back out. They're just simply going to flavor the rice. And basically, it's about, think of it as a technology, an antimicrobial technology that developed in the plant world and which we refer to as spices. So we're bringing that antimicrobial technology out of the plant world and into the animal world by using these spices in our food. So galangal, lemongrass, lime leaves are going into the rice cooker to flavor the rice, and we're also going to, continue to layer these same flavors in the soup stock as well. Now the lime leaves I am using are grown in the U.S., and they are not the same species as the actual kaffir lime leaves that are used in Southeast Asia. I think it's something to do with that particular species is banned in the U.S. They're afraid that it could cross-pollinate or somehow become an invasive species or harm the citrus crops that are grown in the South. So it is not. It's banned here in the U.S. You can't get the true kaffir lime leaves. This is a lime leaf of some kind, but apparently not as flavorful as the ones that they actually have in Southeast Asia. So that's why I'm using quite a bit of them. They're not really strong in flavor, so I'm just using more. So don't really worry about how much of these spices to put in. You can always water it down. You can always add more water if the stock is too strong, but you can't. It's much harder to rescue a weak stock. And like I said, these lime leaves are weak in flavor, so we're adding a whole bunch. What are you going to do with lemongrass and lime leaves and stuff other than using them in stock anyway? So now, of course, we're going to need some chilies in our in our stock as well. So we're going with the Thai chilies. Now, of course, it's we're calculating this in such a way as we want sort of a warming heat, gentle warming chases away those flu and viruses with the that antimicrobial technology of the plant world, those phytochemicals we call spices. But we're not aiming for a full face melt burn down. So that part of it, the chilies, you do have to think about how much you're putting in. But the other ingredients, the galangal, lemongrass and lime leaves and so forth. Put in as much as you can. You can always just water it down if you got it a little too strong. Now we'll begin building the components of our final soup here, and that will be again the same layer of flavors: garlic, chilies. We're using the zest of 2 limes. And now that our stock has simmered, our aromatics and shrimp shells have given up as much of their flavor as they can, we'll begin building the final soup. So back in with our sauteed vegetables along with some kale, and now we're adding some salt. This is fish sauce, but the word sauce is sort of deceptive for Western cooks. Don't think of it as a sauce, think of it as salt. So you saw me, in that amount of water I'd add about a tablespoon of salt. So I'm adding about a tablespoon of fish sauce. You don't want to taste the fish sauce. You just want a background savory saltiness. So think of it as fish flavored salt, not a sauce. And so now we're adding the juice of 5 limes, and I had a leftover lemon that I added as well. It should be more sour than spicy. And I mean, you want it good and spicy, but it should be even more sour than spicy. And we're going in with a full can of coconut milk. This is a brand I hadn't used, so I just put it in a little at a time, but I did wind up with a full can in there. And last of all, the shrimp, because they cook so fast, and grating just a little bit of fresh galangal to just sort of give that final pop of flavor. Don't want to overcook the shrimp. They'll get tough and rubbery if you do. It's almost ready. We're going to garnish with some Thai basil. The rice cooker is done, so we're going to remove the aromatics from the rice. And once that's done, we'll be able to put a little bit of rice in the bowl, and then we will top that off with our soup, and voila, dinner is served, garnished with a bit of Thai basil. And that, of course, is just 10 out of 10 delicious. And making it yourself is well worth the effort. You can't buy a good shrimp stock, you have to make it. And you can adjust the spices and seasonings to your taste if you make it yourself. I've got the perfect amount of heat, just enough to warm you up and chase away those colds and flus. So make your own tom yum goong. About a week later, we did get a warm spell, and I went for a hike out at Lake Red Rock at the Cordova area. I think there was an old town that was flooded by the lake that was named Cordova. That's, I think, where that area got its name. But anyway, the big tower, the Cordova Tower, is there nearby. I was also experimenting with some of the text effects in Adobe Premiere. We got the version 26 loaded up now. are the bluffs that people jump off of in the summertime. They're not supposed to, but people do it. There was a kayaker years ago. There was a kayaker who died up in this area somewhere. I was at the lake that day. I saw the ranger just speeding across the lake, and he was up towards this area. I was down by Roberts Creek, and he was headed up towards this area. But I'm not sure exactly what happened. But you get some wind on the lake, and you get up against the rock bluff like that, and the waves can just slam you repeatedly against the rocks, and you may not be able to get out of it. The lake can be dangerous. This is a pressure ridge. I tried to get kind of fancy with the title, but there's a lot of camera movements. That's the best I could do. But anyway, pressure ridge is caused by expansion of the ice. And when it begins to melt, and it can move a little bit, if the wind is pushing the ice to one side, it can actually do some remarkable things. It can plow up just tons of gravel and just sort of pile it up on the shore and so forth. It breaks up the ice when it does that, but it's quite powerful actually, a little wind and a lot of ice. I had the horizon leveling turned on the camera, and I think it got a bit confused by what I was trying to do there. Now I have the camera on a long pole, so I'm not actually getting as close to the edge as it appears that I am. We'll see here then. I'm not actually leaning out over the edge. It's the camera's on a long pole. Sandstone, of course, is not the strongest rock. It definitely can crumble underfoot and break away and so forth. So you do have to be careful with sandstone. The gizzard shad, of course, a lot of winter kill this year. This little guy, you only got 1 month. Only 1 month of winter left. You gotta hang in there, buddy. Otherwise, the eagles will find you. You can't be doing that. You gotta get under that ice and wait it out. He'll wind up as eagle food pretty soon. There's a little rabbit we kicked up when we were looking around in the bushes. Good place for a little den, a lot of little sights and cracks in the rocks and so forth. That's probably the most photographed area of Lake Red Rock right there. Just east of the Cordova Tower. We're kind of walking the trails. Alright, well, that's about it for this time. We'll catch you on the next one, I guess.